Good morning, everybody. Well, today, as you can plainly see, I've got the ramp lined up, and I've got some 1/4-inch screws that I'm going to be, I got to drill down a little bit in the 2x3 underneath here. So these are lined up perfectly so that my slide comes right down perfectly down to here. And the generator is able to be pulled way out to here if necessary. Now, what I am going to be doing next is mounting this 2x3 just to the left of these oil holes. This 2x2 rather, is going to be, this will be fastened permanently to this board, about 3/4 of an inch from the very end. Then this is going to be mounted permanently on this once I get it where I want it. There's 2/4-inch holes, one in each end. And I'm going to show you how that's going to work. When I place the tray in here, I will line up this board, this 2x2, which is going to actually be sitting about 3/4 of an inch higher than this. Unless I rip down that 2x3 that I just showed you and thin it out a little, but it's no big deal. So that tray, this will move with the tray down here. There's going to be holes drilled every so often, depends on where I want the tray. So the tray can stop and be locked in this place. It can be stopped here, it can be stopped here, all the way down to this point. If I need to move the generator out any more than that, and that's only for servicing, I'll have a temporary block at this end so it doesn't come rolling right off. Remind you, the generator is going to be mounted on that board, be secured to that board. Wheels, the whole 9 yards will be on that board. Now, to accommodate this thing, when it comes out, I have to notch out the corner of this 2x3 on the corner of the door, just so it comes out like that, so it can clear, because the whole tray will come out. There'll be no locking in here, of course, because there's no 2x3 here like there is here, and there's no need to it. In other words, the last position will be here for locking. If I need to pull it out more than that, naturally this ramp is going to be mounted horizontally. If I need to come out any more, I can just roll it and I can block it up with something, and it will never come off the end because I'll have a clamp and a block here, which can be removed. None of these things will be permanent. I found this little handle here, so this will not be in the way of the generator. Because when the generator has its handle, of course, and I lift it up, and it has the U-shape bracket with the 2 rubber cushions on it. So lift it over, put it right on here, and the wheels for the generator will be roughly in this area. The generator is 30 inches, and this board is 40. So the wheels don't necessarily hit this. As a matter of fact, it can't, because it'll be hitting the wall, because the wheels are recessed in a little bit. The generator will be way over here, and you don't want that. We want the generator to sit on this board as close to this as possible, to this end, so that we have easy access to the pull start and the choke, and if not, we can just slide it out like I said. I'll be able to start it here, and in the resting position, which I'm going to establish, I want the board all the way in here, and then we'll drive the pins in, drill the holes for the pins that are going to be mounted. There's 2/4-inch eye bolts that I'm going to use. The exhaust, when it's sitting at this end, Well, I'm going to show you what the exhaust is and how I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to show you on video right at the moment as they're actually putting it together. Here is a preview of how I'm going to do the exhaust. Now, between myself and my local hardware guy, which is very, very knowledgeable, and between two heads, we came up with an idea. This is the original spark arrestor flange for my muffler. Now, I don't have the generator out here. I can't show you exactly how it is, but hopefully you can visualize what I'm doing. The spark arrestor goes into the hole in the muffler. The muffler flange sticks out about inch and a half. This goes over the top of it and holds it in. Okay. What we devised is 1 inch thin wall conduit. A conduit flange. I can't do this with one hand like that. Conduit holder on a big washer. And what we're going to do is we're going to drill 2 holes, and there's already threaded holes in the flange that's on the muffler. There's a flange on the muffler that sticks out about an inch and a half, so I don't have to worry about dealing with thin sheet metal. So we don't use the spark arrestor. It restricts it. You don't need it. We take it out because it was pretty plugged up as it was. We leave it out. Now, this hole here gives you a clear shot. There's no restriction. As a matter of fact, the hole in this is a little smaller than the inside dimension of this tube here. So in other words, you get clear exhaust flow. Like I say, in a future video, when I get to this point, I'll put this all together and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Over here, this pipe will not be this long. Will not be this long. It just, he gave me this piece. He had it. I didn't have to buy a 10-foot section. If the generator is way out here, I can cut this pipe back maybe 5, 6, 7 inches or whatever it needs to be. In other words, there's not a lot of weight there, so it's not going to cause metal fatigue in the muffler. Then when the door's closed, we'll establish where the hole's going to be, and there'll be a hole cut here, but it's going to be a large hole. It's going to be probably 3 or 4 inches, and it'll be used a dryer vent. This pipe will be hot, and there'll be a aluminum pipe around it, and some fiberglass to keep this centered so it will not cause any problem. So if you visualize the generator inside the door, if I can get the generator up about here, you can see I'm only going to need a short section of this pipe. This pipe is 19 inches long. I don't need 19 inches. So I'm going to try to get the generator running as close to this as I can. So that way the exhaust won't have a long way to go, and also won't need to have a lot of weight on the muffler. So that's a future video, but it gives you an idea. A conduit coupler, a large washer, just drill, make a flange. This is not on straight because I can't do 2 things at once. Hold the camera and do that too, but you've got to visualize of how I'm doing it, and it's a clear shot all the way through there. So there'll be no restriction for the exhaust. Okay, back to the project here. I'm going to mount this. This is already centered. So we're going to secure that with long screws from the bottom. These are 1/4 inch, I think they're 5 inches. They're longer than I really need, but that's okay. It's only got to go down into the 2x3, probably about halfway. And we just got to make sure we don't use the same area where we drilled for the screws. So we'll come probably about in here, and we may drill another set of holes here. It depends on where I want this tray for convenience of starting it or whatever. And maybe another one here. These are if necessary. We'll end up with just one probably right there, about an 1.5 inches or so, or 2 inches away from the very end, like that. So you just lift these up and you just drop them in. They don't have to go all the way down. It just keeps the tray from sliding. And we have to do it so that it doesn't bind either. I should be able to work that out. So we just got to mount this in a position where it's usable. If I don't need to come out that far, I won't. Like I say, this is going to be a combination service cable and a ramp. Now I built some legs for this, and I'll show you. They're right over here on a pressure treated 2x4, which I had on hand. They're going to go underneath here, and they're going to just sit in against this 2x4 that you see here. I don't know if you can see that. So that will sit, this will sit on top of this. So it'll be like this. So it'll just go underneath. The ground is a little different, so I made them both the same length, and I can always shim one side up. This is pretty level. I took a straight edge and went from the platform here out to here. So it just happens to sit on this step thing I made years ago perfectly. So this will be brought out, and this will be stored separately. This I could probably store underneath, but I can't store this thing. It's too big. Even if I made this out of plywood, when I put these sides on it, it would never fit under here. No way. A 3/4 inch piece of plywood would just barely fit in there because of that piece of 2x2 that I have across the lower floor underneath there, which was my original wheel stop for the generator when I had the other floor below this one. So nothing can get underneath there of any thickness at all. So alright, so that's that. I don't have any more oil base, so that's why it's not painted here. I gotta see if I can mix up something to protect that. Alright, I flapped long enough here. I'm gonna get to work and we'll show you progress as we go along. You're gonna be hearing a lot of noise on my outdoor videos here because the state decided to redo the bridge way down on the corner down there. So you're gonna be hearing a lot of noise. The biggest aggravation is that constant beeping all day long from that steam, I call it a steam shovel. It's not going right now, but anyways, if you hear all this noise, you'll know what it's from. I'll put one screw in here to hold it until I can flip it over, and then I'll take the screw out afterwards. take out the... What the hell, we'll leave it in there. What I got to do is establish where I want this. So I got to put the tray in. And what we're going to do is equalize the both sides. In other words, there's a space about 1/4 inch on the width, which I wanted. So we're going to put just stick a couple of pieces of material in there just to keep this centered. So then when I put this down, I'll know where to drill the holes. I'll just take this out, put the drill down through and match up my holes. So I try to end up in the center of the 2x3 runners over there. And so when this thing is moving, this whole thing will move in unison, and it'll hopefully work, it'll track properly. So we're going to do that off camera, and we'll come back on when I get it all done, and I'll show you how it hopefully will work. Okay, what I did is I oiled each one of them oil holes, and the oil came right through on the ball underneath. So all the oil holes are lined up, so that's a good thing to know. Now this thing can't slide too much right now because it's got 2 screws in here that are not driven down yet for the ramp. So what I am going to do now is line up the cross piece. So that piece is going to be over here, of course, and it'll ride. I don't know if you can see that. Right now this is sticking out too far and it's binding until I get the holes made. Okay, so it'll ride. Hard now to show you because I got to take out the stops over here. Well, I hope you can see that okay. We got it all centered now, and I got it shimmed up so that the thing don't shift side to side, so that we can get the best possible alignment we can. Right, so I got to do now is to, I don't know if you can see that, I got to drill straight down in this 1/4 inch hole into the 2x3. So that I can get the pin to drop into the 2x3. Okay, so that go like that. I have to just, I'll have to run the bit in there a little bit to clean it out. Okay, when you got threads on here, it makes it you know, a little hard to go in and out, but that's not a problem. All right, so take you over here. Damn thing's driving me nuts all day long. All right, so now with the pin in here, see, and the pin over there, you just reach around. The generator will end, like I say, the generator is 30 inches, so it'll be at the far end here. It'll probably end here, so there's plenty of room for me to reach in there and pull the pins. And naturally, the weight of the generators, you're not going to get any of this lifting action, not once the generator's on there. So now what I got to do is to slide this down, but I got to get these pins out of here. These are just temporary to keep my thing in line here, and I got to fix those. And then I can slide this down and see where else I got to be. I'm at a point now where I almost have to put the generator in here, but I don't want to do that until I'm all done with this plate, because with the generator on here I'm not going to be able to line up my holes and stuff, so I'll probably drill extra stop points along the way. Better to have more than not too many, and I'll probably just use a magic marker to show which ones that I have to stop at. That should be easy enough to do. Okay, I got more work to do here. Okay, it's down as a ramp now, and you can see the feet for it is laying there, and I'm going to put a handle on the end of that so I can lift it up and shove the feet up underneath it. Because once the generator is in there, then this becomes a platform. The damn thing is awful heavy and hard to move around, but just the way it is. Alright, I gotta cut that little corner out that I was telling you about. That's gonna be hard to chip it out of there. But I'll use my saw and see what I can do with it. Should be down low enough, deep in there. I'll knock that piece out. Alright. Well, she should clear. We'll probably have to take a little out of here. Alright, I got it pretty good. I could have used my Harbor Freight multi-purpose tool, but I think this would have been a lot quicker.
Boy, does my butt itch.
Any man that'll use the same toothbrush for 9 years and then have it re-bristled, well...
Okay, that don't look too bad. Yep, so now you've really got a clear shot right through so that the slider can come all the way out to the platform here. And I've got 2 bolts coming down, 1/4 inch, that'll catch into these holes that I got up here. I had to make the holes a little bigger because I had to make them in 1 inch because it just wouldn't line up when I tried to get the ramp back in. But the way it's set up now, they line up perfectly when the ramp is horizontal, and when it is as set up as a ramp, these things fit right in there just nicely. All I got to do is I'm going to take this handle, and this is the lower, no, this is the upper part. Down at the lower part here, I want to take it and mount the handle right here so that I can pick this thing up and put these legs under it whenever I want to use it as a service ramp, or a service platform, I should say. And this will not interfere, am I in camera? And not interfere with the generator. Looking at the generator, that's not going to be any problem. The wheels will go right over that when you're bringing it up the ramp. So when this watercolor dries, I'll put the ramp up there. I really didn't have to paint it, but you know, I just figured I had to fill that in, fix that. It looked like hell until I painted it. It don't look too bad. I have to dig out my vacuum cleaner and vacuum this stuff up here. Yet because I couldn't sweep it all out. But my main concern is to keep the central area where the rollers are that they don't get crapped up. So it looks like I might be able to get the generator in here tonight. Then I can secure it with my lock. All right, let's give her a try here. All right, now we're going to put the slide tray in, and we'll lock the slide tray in place, and then we'll put the generator in. Okay, I got the board up here. I put a handle on here so I can pull it. Now, here's the idea as to why I had to cut that out. See? Now that goes right up. Here. Now this could be a little alignment if I need to, you know, there's a little play here, I can adjust it. Not a problem. So now what I'm going to do is lower this piece here and get the generator and put it in there. Alright, you're going to be the first. This is the first for me, and it's going to be a first for you. This is not going to be easy for me to push it up this. There's a higher incline than there was before. Of course, I hit this under there. You see, I want to show you. Here's the flange on the muffler here. I just got 2 screws that I got from the hardware store. That's going to be the mounting for the exhaust. But this sticks out about an inch and a half, and this is the flange, and this opening is probably a hair less than an inch. So that thin wall conduit is going to be perfect. So once this is established, and I really want to get it so it's sitting close to the door as possible, so there won't be a long exhaust pipe. And the way this is, I don't even have to pull this out to start it. I mean, here's the pull right here. But if I have to, I can push this, I can slide this ramp out. Now, I'm going to leave it on there. It's going to stay in here tonight. But I'm going to unhook these pins here, and I'm going to see how hard it is to slide. It should still roll pretty easily on this skateboard. So, come back on the video in a minute here. Now, let's just see. Now, in order to find out if this is going to slide out onto the thing here, am I still recording? Yep. We gotta put this on. Now, I may have to go left and right in order to get this to track through here. Thing is dirty, so I don't want to pull it. It's got a lot of dirt on the thing from the wheels and stuff, so I don't want to pull it and get the rollers dirty. It pulls a little hard. But I'm happy with it. And I think, let's see. Well, okay, what I'm going to do is remove the ramp now. close this door, and that'll determine where the stop is going to be for the back wheels. Well, there's only one set of wheels on it for the wheels, and that way it'll determine how long the exhaust is. That's a project that's going to be coming up, and it'll be on video. So we're going to remove this ramp now, and I'll get you over here so you can see it a little better. We'll remove the ramp now, and we'll close that door, and I'll see where I'm at and exactly where I'm going to put the generator. I don't want to remove the handle or the wheel set that I built, because if I have to pull it, you know, in the yard or anything for any reason at all, I'll have a hell of a time moving it. Where the muffler comes out, it's going to be right here, and that's not good, because I wanted to go into the plywood, but it's going to be roughly about in here, and that's not good. But I could and probably will move the generator over. Yeah, because see the back wheels over there, they're way up on the edge there. So I got to move, I got to balance it, I got to get it over a little bit, but it's not really that much movement. Not much movement. So, but we'll move that over and come back again on the video. All right, 7 inches to the door frame, inside the door frame, to this 2x6. So 7 inches. Now we got to take 1.5 inches, and I'm guessing 1.5 inches. That's going to bring the muffler out roughly 7.5 to 8 inches. So this, the pipe is going to still go here, so I'm going to have to cut with the hole saw here, and that's going to be hard because these hole saws that I got cut 1 inch depth only, that I got from Harbor Freight, and they do a good job, but I don't expect they ain't going to be able to cut through this, even like 2 passes, simply because I'm going through 1/2 inch plywood and then I'm going into here. Well, we'll work it out. I'm not doing it today, but the exhaust can come out. I would venture to say, as you're looking at the ruler, I would venture to say 8 to 9 inches. That'll allow the exhaust pipe to stick out probably about that much, and there'll be a dryer vent over it. But the problem with the dryer vents that I've seen are they have too much stuff on them. You don't need the flapper. You don't need the long 18-inch aluminum pipe coming out. I only need a few inches just so that the pipe from here will slip in it. But we'll work that out. I think what I'm going to do now is start this generator. I haven't run it for a while. And that'll be it for this video for today. But don't go away, because there'll be more. Thank you very much for watching.